Hi guys. Super nervous. Okay, so I'm Yijun. I run Splory with one of my co-founder here, Wilson. So Splory is a mobile platform that helps friends to create and organize casual meetups on the go. So imagine Facebook events, but for friends.
Hi everyone, my name is Christine. I'm actually a UX specialist, and I co-founded Shopatis with my partner here, CK, because we believe that selling online professionally should be as simple as snapping photos with just your smartphone and share with the world. So,
Hi guys, CK. I don't work for Google, although I'm wearing Google t-shirt. I'm the CEO of Shopatis, so we are together. I'm the geek and then I run the business and on the night.
Okay, as you can see, they're kind of nervous. I'm too. This is such a big audience. And this is some of the pictures that I took while we were in the valley. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. What we're going to do today, instead of me asking them the questions, I want you guys to pick the topic up there, and then we'll discuss about it. How's that? So we've got, what do we have? We've got FB versus LinkedIn. We've got instant noodle versus sandwiches. So anyone? Which one? Okay, you want the startup house versus five-star hotel. Who want to take that first? Christine?
when we went to the States, we're not staying in like a five-star hotel, Eastin or Westin or anything like that. We were placed in a startup house where downstairs is more like a co-working space, and there were bunk beds, like dormitory-like bunk beds on the second floor. And we were split, like boys and boys, girls with the girls. But of course, it's not just us. Together with the Malaysians, there are like people from other countries as well. They are like from Poland, Hong Kong, Korea, people from all over the world. We were sharing the same working space and the same living space. So that's the beauty of it, right? That's the reason why we were placed in a startup house rather than in a five-star hotel.
Anything to add? What kind of experience do you, to share with them when you were staying at the startup house? Was it great to be part?
Yeah,
with them?
it's really amazing because you are forced in some way to really mix with different kind of people. I mean, different race, with different backgrounds. So the person who slept underneath me is like the two-level
Bunk
beds. So he's running another startup. So we shared our ideas, and then we shared what we have done, and it's just amazing because I don't think we actually expect to stay in that kind of places because it's government. You should expect five-star hotels from the government, right? So, but yeah, we are glad we had such an amazing place to stay for that 2 weeks. Is that 2 weeks exactly? Yeah, 2 weeks. So, yeah, and it's what is because it's in downtown, so everything is very close nearby. You just walk, and you get what you want. Yeah.
So do you manage to build your network from there? Do you manage to, exchange some views from them, or to improvise on your product or something?
Well, yeah, like it's a co-living space. So you basically share the toilet, you share the bathrooms, you share everything. So like, there are some people that we didn't meet the day before, but you kind of bump into them on the way to toilet. So, and then you start to introduce yourself, and then you ask what they're doing, and then you share about your experiences as well and where you come from. I think it's nice to meet people from all over the world, different kind of culture, working on different projects. And it's nice to see someone outside of your team. I think that's something that we learn a lot from them because they are not just developers. They range from UX specialists, which is pretty rare in Malaysia, and I'm happy to share my experience and my project with them, and then we share ideas, and we spoke about how we can improve things. I think that's something that we lack of here. Even though we have co-working spaces, but I don't think we interact enough, and that's something that I learned while in the States.
Anything to ask related to that topic? Or you want to change to a different one? Yes? Self-funded versus sponsored. No, you can just move on.
I'm sorry, but when you say when you ask about that, do you mean like, do you refer to the trip to the state itself, or do you mean the business? Okay. How about both? Okay, I'll tell you about the trip. It's we were I mean, the flight ticket were covered. The place to stay were covered, but the rest we have to pay by ourselves. So, yeah, and you have to like really make sure you get every single best. I mean, all the best thing out of this trip. So what happens is that before going to the trip, we actually look at the people that are within our connections or like linked to someone else, so that we can arrange appointments, meetings, and yeah. So I hope that answers.
Well, probably we could just screw it to like, in the Valley, it's common to hear that, people bootstrapping as compared to here, right? Here we hear a lot of people being sponsored. So what's your opinion on that?
I mean, anyone here don't read TechCrunch? I mean, TechCrunch, every day you see a lot of startups, right? It's 3 months old, they get funded a couple millions to double-digit millions. Shopperties is actually bootstrapping. We've been bootstrapping for about 11 months. So I can probably share a little bit on self-funded business. We didn't raise fund at the beginning of setting up the company. We tend to be building, we spent about 2 months doing customer research, survey, understanding our problems, our merchants' problem, surveys, we collect the data, we validate our assumptions, and then we build our minimum viable products. So we spent about 2 months surveying, and then about 2 months for development, and we finally launched in 5th month. So, there's a lot of challenges. We tend to, because we do not have much cash, so we tend to be creative. We do not spend much on advertising. We tend to spend more on development, and then we leverage on different partners, startups especially, to help each other, to help promote each other, exchanging expertise. Because me, I'm a geek. I'm okay with programming. I know a little bit about SEO, so I exchange knowledge with other startups because we have other startups who are pretty good at acquiring users, so we exchange users, co-promote each other. That's also one of the example how we bootstrap for the past few months. And so the journey is good because we tend to don't spend much and be very lean. Yeah. So that's about self-funding, and we're raising fund now. But the good thing is that right now we don't call too much about the. We're still profitable. We're still getting revenue, and yeah, that's why we focus at the moment.
Anybody want to ask more question related to that? Does that answer your question? Yes.
I think they just mentioned they are profitable. Well, in my case, Splory is we started. Officially, the whole company incorporated 3 days a year before. So what happens is that we started out very early. We wanted to do something like Yelp and TripAdvisor. And we were very lucky because my previous experience and also Wilson is the president of MAP, Malaysian American Alumni Partnership. I got it correct, yeah. So we often got invited to universities to share about topics like, for example, like the key takeaways from the trip to US, something like that. So we use some time of the stuff to talk about Explory, and then we did some very basic customer validation, and then we came up with a landing page to hope that if they find it interesting, they'll sign up. And to answer back to the question, we are not profitable yet. We don't even have a positive cash flow. We are burning money every day. And then we are not launched yet, so we are launching in early next month, hopefully by end of this month. And one thing about sponsored is that very often we hear about lean, this word, and it's a very famous, very hot topic right now, lean, lean, lean. So many people, there are a lot of people got this word mistaken. So lean doesn't mean cheap, you know. If you have to run a startup in a very lean way, basically means that you have to spend every single cent smartly, and you have to make sure that by the time you launch it, you actually got a very basic audience ready to use your product, or if they're willing to pay, that's even better, right? So these are my key takeaways from that. So we are very lucky to manage to raise some fund back in March, but we took some time to pivot the whole idea to what it is right today. And please, if you are starting out a business, it's very crucial to get your customer interviews, talk to people that you want, because sometimes you might find out that what you actually wanted to build is not what people wanted, and you don't want to make mistakes like what we have done in the past few months. So it took some time to pivot and then to struggle along, and you actually are wasting every single cent of the money that's invested by your investor every day. You don't want to do that. It's not nice.
Corrections. We are not profitable yet. Sorry about misleading. No, we have revenue. We have transactions. On the first day, we launch our beta. Yeah, so.
Okay. Shall we move on? Yes. Oh, we can't hear.
I'm sorry,
Hold on.
we can't.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Safa. Okay, for MSC to send you guys to the States.
Can you, just for everyone's, maybe know what's your name and where you're from?
Safa
Safa from?
from Subang.
From Subang. Okay.
Okay, for MSC to send you to the States, so to sponsor you to go to the States, you must be doing something good or great in your company. So what are the criteria that makes you MSC to choose you to go to the States?
Okay, this is my question for me to answer. Well, what happened is these guys have gone through some program through MSc, either through MSc programs, MDEC program, or through our partners, either Bootstrap, Foundry Institute, so on and so forth. So what happened is from there we actually track them based on their ideas and where they are now. So what we do is we actually request from them their pitch deck, and we validate with our partners. We have certain criteria, and it is our third-party partner in the States that actually recommends who goes and who doesn't. Because so that we know that when we send, it is what the people in the Valley wants to see. Yeah. Yes. Well, we know that. We know that Americans would like to, take more risk as compared to Asian because we're so scared of failing. What's your response to that? True? Not true?
Well, it's scary to fail, right? I mean, yeah. That's the kind of mentality that we have here, but apparently that's not okay in the States, in the Valley especially. entrepreneurs who have failed many times in the valley, they're labeled as experienced entrepreneurs, okay? They're not failures, they're experienced entrepreneurs.
So the more time you fail, the more experience you have.
And to top it off, there are actually this thing called PhilCon, where a bunch of people with Phil experience actually attended that conference to share about their experience and stuff. But you can continue.
Be proud. I mean,
You know, especially for young startups like us, we learn a lot. And then sometimes you have to pivot, and then you might fail even one day. I don't know. I mean, this is my first startup, and I'm still learning every day. And if I discover that I failed one day, I wouldn't be afraid. And I don't think you should be afraid. I would like to label myself as experienced entrepreneur at that time. So yeah. And if any of you here today is a product developer, I would suggest that, don't be afraid to ship. Don't be afraid to launch your product. Just push it out, get early users' feedback. I think that's the best thing that you can do for yourself today. And we did just that with our startup, with our product. And we launched with a beta, and we're still learning every day, but that's okay. It's okay to get users' feedback.
So the culture that they brought back is it's okay to fail because they're going to be labeled as experienced entrepreneur. But yeah, that's the whole idea of this global linkages, to bring back entrepreneurs like this, what they've learned, and to share with you guys. So now you know it's okay to fail. Yeah.
And it's not just it's okay to fail, but it's also you have to learn that it's also okay to sometimes take risks, because the main what I discovered during the trip over there is the main reason why they are like such risk-taking being over there is because the majority people who are in the Silicon Valley, they're not from Silicon Valley, they're not Americans. So they are from Italy, Holland, San Francisco, New Zealand, everywhere in the world, just not America. So what happens is that the moment they decided to leave their home country and then go there, it's like one of the largest risks that they have took. So what we have here is because, like in Penang, young graduates, they don't really want to take risks to join a startup because we have all those MNC behind. Agree, Curry? Intel, Western Digital, they are hiring for like 2,000 plus, 3,000 basic salary for young graduates. So the people here, because we are in such comfortable position, we don't tend to take, we don't tend to like even explore the possibility to take risks. So I think that there should be a change here. Hopefully there are more, the career fair tomorrow will be able to attract more graduates to join us, startups.
There's this quote by Richard Branson, and he says that if someone offers you something amazing and you're not sure whether you can do it, just say yes, right? And then you'll figure out a way along the way. Don't worry.
I guess it goes, the bigger the risk, the bigger the returns, right? Somebody say that, I can't remember who. Huh?
Sometimes.
Okay, next. Yeah.
I have a simple question here.
Sure.
My name is Jackie. I'm from an engineering background. So may I know that, because you're doing a startup, so do you have any core mission that you're starting up, or is it your passion, or is it anything that with you?
So is it your passion or that drives you to become an entrepreneur? A startup. Yeah. To build a startup.
I think it's a mixture of both. You have to definitely have to like what you are about to venture into your business, because that's what you'll be doing for the next few years, and you're going to spend 20 hours a day doing that, so you have to love what you do. But why we venture into this, because we think that there are opportunities. We think that we're trying to help the SME. We think that there are opportunity. We think that they deserve more attention. So we also, before we actually start, we also, like I mentioned just now, we also did some study, really understand, because we started with assumptions, just an idea, right? Just like everyone. So instead of getting the idea remain as an idea, we did validations, we get feedbacks from customer, we do some mock-ups and then show it to customers. So so another point of it is that instead of getting the idea remain as an idea, and wait for funding to come in. So we create a minimal viable product and then we launch, and yeah.
What makes me do what I want to do today is, I mean, I'm 21. I have no formal way to answer that. It's just the pure excitement to do stuff that I'm doing right now. So this is my third attempt. And the first one is right now it's called usetoday.com. Me and Wilson were one of the earlier group of people who started the whole thing. And I left the company at 2011 because I was having A-levels. And then, but what I really cannot forget is the pure excitement that you have to deal with every day. So as glamorous as it can sound, start up, you own a company at 21, you're like CEO, but you don't have anyone else in the company. And it's basically challenges every day. You wake up and then you have to deal with all this stuff. So it's just excitement to try new stuff. I feel in my second attempt, so we wanted to do something related to solar energy engineering. It's super big, super huge, not from Malaysia, because TNB rules it all here. I'm sorry, censor that.
I don't work for TNB, it's okay.
Okay, so yeah, this is my third attempt, and we make mistakes. We made mistakes, but you just have to learn that you will end up doing mistakes as well. It's how fast you can react to it, how much you can learn from the mistakes, and how not to repeat them again.
So basically, it's passion for both of you. What about Christine?
Just to answer your question, there were a few things that connected to dots to where I am today. I used to work in a digital agency, and I built websites for e-commerce sites like Walmart in China, Nokia e-commerce, and all that. And I've seen how big the market is, and I've seen how advanced it is. I can tell you today that we are at least 7 to 8 years behind the e-commerce scene in China. And I have this vision that one day Malaysia will be as good as strong. And as strong, yes, thank you, as how they're doing in terms of bigger companies like Taobao and Dangdang and all those. So that's one dot. And secondly, my background is like a designer, and I like to make handmade stuff. And when I wanted to sell it online, it's a problem for me. There's too many steps, and I can't sell it on eBay because they just don't really recognize me as a Malaysian to sell on an international platform. And it takes too much effort, too much time, too much money to just sell something that I just made out of my hobby. So I just thought of creating something really simple to just start selling online through your smartphone, and I'm just basically solving my own problem. And when we did some market research, and we found that there are actually people out there who's like me. So and we built the app and pushed it out. So that's how it all started.
When you say people like you, meaning people wanting who
They don't like me, they like the product.
They have no. I said they have a product, but they're not able to sell it, right? Yeah. So that's not easily. Yeah. Okay. Questions? You can change the topic now. Yes. Key takeaway, yeah.
I don't have one, I have 10. Because I just blog about it this morning. I think I'll just give you one quote from Marvin Lau. He's from 500 Startups. He's a partner there. When we met him at the office, he gave us a really good advice. He said that culture and community really matters. Be hungry, be happy, and be helpful. And I think that should be instilled in every single entrepreneur here today.
CK?
I also have a long list. I'm thinking which one is a biggest takeaway because you only asked one, and we don't have much time. I met a lot of geeks there, just like me, coder, and also started company. We learned that idea gets better if you don't keep it within yourself. So we talked to a lot of people there. They are very helpful. They like to share. They even show me the code. What are they doing? And things get better because I may have a different way of doing it, and then maybe exchange idea, exchange the experience. So I think the biggest takeaway, aside from the workshops that we attend, is really the boot camp time is when we spend time at the startup house with all the people there. We have programmers, designer, everyone exchange ideas, and then we still keep in touch. We're still trying to help each other to improve our product. I think that's something that I think we should have it here as well in Malaysia. Helping Malaysian startups. Yeah.
Probably we can have our own business, a startup house in Malaysia. Yeah?
It's a good business, yeah?
Yep, it is.
Anyone want to start
Since Malaysia's gonna
co-working,
have this, we have
co-living
a
space?
startup
Yeah?
house.
My key takeaways is very simple. Execute smart. It's not just about execution. It's about how can you execute it at the right time, at the right move, and it's pointless if you just listen to what people share, what people talk, and then you don't do it yourself. So it's like growth hack. You have to experience it, and then A/B testing, talk to people, keep close, relationship with your user base, and then you iterate and alter everything, and then voila, you have the product that they all wanted. So this is my key takeaways.
Go to blog.shoppertis.com. You find the rest of the 9 key takeaways there.
Yeah, they all blogged about it, so it should be on their. It's on Splory, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Any more questions?
What's your take on the dictating technology direction versus dictated technology?
Okay. So to clarify this is more like the first one, dictating technology direction, is like all those big companies over there, and then the second one is more like what we have here, as in we follow their styles, we depend on their platform. So I would like to share about this. There's this startup, they do retargeting advertising on Facebook. So what happens is that they do it solely on Facebook, and they depend solely on Facebook. What happens is that it's just like what, is anyone expert in SEOs here? Yeah, oh, no, okay.
There's one.
Okay, so what happens is that if you just depend solely on one platform, what happens, like, if Google introduce a new algorithm, you have to learn all again, or that's a good thing. And if you are like that startup, what if Facebook just decided to do something about it and then won't let you use it as much as possible? Or they can be like Salesforce, where they have this analytical tool previously, And then there are like 7 IPO companies in the States that leverage on that platform to become a service for their clients. So what happened recently is that Salesforce decided to come up with their own analytical tools. So and then those 7 companies are like, we are, yeah. And the key takeaways from this is if you need to depend on the other platform to build a business, don't depend on solely. Try to, it's like what Warren Buffett always advised, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah.
The reason why I put that up is because I notice most of our startups depend quite on the big boys, yeah? Google, Facebook, whatever they do, they depend on them. In the event, let's say Facebook decides not to have advertisement, what's going to happen, right? So that's the reason why, do we dictate the technology or we're just a follower? So the majority of our startups that I see is followers. So I might be wrong, yeah. Because we were in Google and we were put together in a workshop with the Israelis, right? Yeah, and wow, they were amazing. They were doing AI on, they can actually, when you talk, they produce, the action can tell whether you're angry, whether you're sad, and it's already running, they're already making money, right? So and here we are still trying to figure out, oh, let's just do advertisement on Facebook, so yeah.
I think what we learned on our trip to Salesforce is that, just be innovative. Build your own product so that no one can screw you. So you just, make something that you can call your own, and you can be independent and strong.
Any question? Anything to add? Or we want to move to another topic? What else do we have? We've got FB versus LinkedIn. That's easy. How many did we get at the end of the day? 1,800 networks? 1,002? You want to talk about that? Yeah, total. Like how Facebook versus LinkedIn there.
Does anyone here doesn't have a Facebook account? Raise your hand. Don't be shy. Does any one of you here has a LinkedIn account? Can we have a show of hands?
Not
Okay,
bad.
that's not bad. Okay. How many of you are still active on LinkedIn? Okay, see, there are less people, right? So when we went to the States, the first thing they asked us is that, do you guys have a LinkedIn account? And I'm like, I do, but I haven't been using it for years. So that's the thing. And in the States, if you meet someone, especially if he's an investor or even if he's from other startups, the first thing you do when you connect is you connect on LinkedIn. You don't intrude in their personal life on Facebook, because that's how the clear segregation is. And I think that's very professional. I think that's something that we should do here as well. And I say that because I think there's an advantage to that. If you, for example, added an investor on LinkedIn, you can actually, and okay, he may be based in Japan or he may be based in the Valley, but that's okay. Because if you look into his network of friends, you can actually find out who it is that is his partner in Singapore, which is the nearest to Malaysia. Or he could probably know someone from KL, and that's even better, right? So you find out what that person's name is, you write to that investor, and you ask his help to connect you with this guy, right? That's what you do, and that's something that you can get from LinkedIn and not from Facebook, and that's what we learned.
Yeah, you can.
I would like to top this off, not just Facebook versus and LinkedIn. It's more like online presence that you have. It's like, for example, this to go back to the LinkedIn story. So Benson from Table App was with us during the trip, and he wanted to meet the previous CEO of Open Table. Benson is doing Table App is something like Open Table for Malaysia. So he just added him, and then he sent him a message, say, hey, I'm doing what you have done in Malaysia, but can we meet up? I would like to have some advices. And then I think this, not even a day, he responded and say, yeah, cool, let's meet up. And then a day after, he's meeting up this partner of Andreessen Horowitz. Andreessen Horowitz is one of the biggest VC in the States. And then I think he got like a lot out of that. So they are really particular about this because Facebook is more personal. You try not to get into, I mean, if it's not just investors, and it's like people you don't know, you try not to get into their personal life so fast, unless you're like, hey, and and about online presence, if you're running a startup, it's good to have online presence like your own blog, or get yourself on angel list, and get a LinkedIn page for your company, so that people, when they search for you, you actually exist in Google, because what's on Google are true, right? And then yeah, these are my key takeaways on the online presence. There are a lot of stuff right now that you can actually leverage on, not just to share about what you are doing, but to get feedbacks so that you can iterate along. The other example I can point out is Product Hunt. Product Hunt actually, they have new startups, new ideas. They just put it up there and then see what people react to it. So these platforms, these places are really good to help you to discover early adopters and to get feedbacks on how you can change on your ideas.
Yeah, just to add that Benson managed to get the former CEO, right, of Open Table to become, I can't remember his name. Jeff, to become his unofficial mentor. So that's good for him. Yeah. All right, so moving on. So questions based on the slide, or any questions to the startups? I think we've got one more question to go, and then we can wrap up. Interesting story. Christine?
Okay. There's this one cold morning, okay, at the startup house, and we were very surprised actually to see Jasmine walking in, and she caught 6 of us hugging together in a table and slurping hot instant noodles. And
They all brought it from Malaysia.
yeah, we brought it all the way from
Imported, man.
Yeah. I mean, Asian being Asians, spending 2 weeks away from home, we wanted some noodles and rice. So yeah, and it was quite embarrassing because Jasmine started taking photos of us eating instant noodles.
I didn't put it up,
And
so
she
it's okay.
shared it. You shared it. So yeah, I mean, I mean, there are plenty of sandwiches, there are plenty of pizzas, depending of, wrappos and burritos, but, Asian being Asians, we just want some noodles
They miss
and
the
rice.
Malaysian food.
And we did. We went to Chinatown 3 times a week. So
That's what Benson does. Every
I was
every
hoping you're not
dinner.
gonna bring that up, but
we were
yeah.
there for 2 weeks, right?
But I mean, we went to Chinatown. It's actually, they have one of the biggest Chinese community outside of China, and that's in San Francisco. So we found some pretty decent Chinese food, and yeah, we spent at least 3 times a week there, and that's not something that I want to tell you guys today.
Benson do it every dinner. He's like, I have to have
He's not
rice.
gonna happy when he hears
rice.
this.
Rice. And then, yeah, this is more like the
And then we
cultural
were
stuff.
like, oh, Benson wants some rice, so I'm just gonna, go with him. I'm gonna accompany him because I don't want him to eat alone. So we just did that. It wasn't us, it was Benson.
They don't want to admit it. Well, I thought this is a very interesting, because we're talking about cultural differences.
We also spent Malaysia Day.
Yeah.
We also spent Malaysia Day in the States. It was
Yeah.
September 16.
16, yeah.
And, we were like, we're missing home, and we were like, we wanted a plate of nasi lemak, but it's so hard to get it there. And then Jasmine had to come in and rub it that, I just had nasi lemak in Palo Alto for $10. Okay. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Should have invited us. Man.
No, it's just that, this is what we call cultural differences. We were at PayPal, and we were all hungry during lunchtime. And what happened was, I think previously we were at Google, yeah. So in Google we had a nice meal. So, well, us being Malaysians, we thought we're gonna get a nice meal at the cafeteria as well. So, very unfortunate, we just got wraps. So all of them were like, oh my God, this is all we're gonna get. So I thought it was kind of funny, but at the same time, this is the cultural differences. They don't take hot meals all the time. It's sandwiches on the go, coffee, bagels. So yeah.
Even when we went for we were looking for food trucks for lunch, and what we were looking for, we were like, oh, that's Indian curry. We want that. That's what we did. We were like looking for pizzas, sandwich. No, I had enough of that.
So anyone going for the Eat Stanford, probably you would want to pack up some instant noodles.
Stock up, guys. Stock up.
Yeah? I don't know. I'm just wondering if,
Is
whoever
that,
is, anyone going to Eat Stanford?
Who here is going?
No
Yeah,
one?
Stanford program.
Yeah, so bring instant noodles. Unless you want to pay $10 for nasi lemak. Because you'll be staying in Palo Alto, that's why I got my nasi lemak. I can give you the Indonesian restaurant.
You won't regret it. One instant noodle costs you $3.
And if you're from Penang, you should feel proud because there's this Penang fried noodles, like Penang char kway teow, in Google. So as much as we wanted to, try out their food, so they are all hunger for our food here as well. So.
You went to have char kway teow in Google.
You had char kway teow in Google? Yeah. Oh my God.
Is that really char kway teow?
Okay, I did not.
No,
have
you
char
should
kway
go to
teow.
Penang for char kway teow. Right, Gary?
Yay. So, any other question? Guys who's going for the East Stanford program? I mean, these are the guys that you probably want to, talk to after this. Yeah? Any other question? Or we can just call it a day? Yes? Yeah, to share versus not to share. Well, what I notice is our Malaysian startups in general like to keep everything to themselves. This is mine. Somebody's going to take this idea away from me. But when they went there, they were forced to share by their mentors. Please explain.
Okay, the program was pretty intense actually. It's back to back with master classes. Even at night, we have to go for networking events. So it's really like from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night. And we had one weekend off. And that weekend, we were forced to, I'm sorry, Jess, you forced us.
Yes,
we were forced to go to the hackathon. There's this data plus, it was data week, sorry, thank you. It was data week, and we went to the hub. Yeah, sorry, I have bad memory. And then we were like, the moment we reached there, we were like all sitting in the same group. We were like hoarding one table, 10 of us Malaysians sitting in one table. And that's bad, right? When one of our mentors, Van Levy, from Busap Labs, he walked in, and then he was like, what are you guys doing? Why are you guys sitting in groups? Go around and mix around with people, and don't work on your project. Go find a new team, go talk to people, share your new ideas, ask them what do they think, and you're supposed to go around, mix around, and share your ideas. And I think that's something that I don't see it that often here in KL, and I think that's wrong. I think, I don't know about you guys, but it's okay to share. The knowledge are bound to be in the internet anyway, so don't be afraid. And
Yep, because absolutely agree to that. Because what we learned, doing that is if you are looking for a co-founder, you share ideas. You share what you want to do to random people. Who knows, you might find a co-founder that way. So it's not about like, my idea is my idea, your idea is bullshit. Not that. So ideas are cheap, really cheap. What you want to do today, there might be like tons of people around the globe that has experience on doing that or already doing that right now. So always believe that I mean, always keep in mind that execution is the utmost important stuff. You don't have to worry about if someone else is
stealing your
doing what
idea.
you're doing or stuff. It's good to share ideas as well because you get opinions, you get feedbacks, you get early adopters, and you get people who like Christine's product. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I have to say it was not enough. Personally, as a program manager, I felt that it was not enough for them. 2 weeks was very, very intense, right?
Yeah.
And they did not have enough time to network whoever they've met or to do a follow-up meeting, right? Yeah.
So we have by end of the 2 weeks, we have a demo day, which they invited all the mentors and some friends who are investors, and then we were pitching about that. So we have to go back 2 hours after the demo day, and we couldn't really follow up with stuff. So all the follow up has to be in form of emails, and it's like really inconvenient because you might want to show your prototype, which is on your iPhone only, and then right now you have to send a test flight over, which is like really hard to do it, and two weeks is not enough.
But then again, the ones who stayed on for 3 weeks, they said 3 weeks was just too long. So you can never please them. So anyway, any more questions? Or we call it a day.
Okay, right.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
So.
Thank you.